Hospital. So he's still going on this. This is from today. He posted this. Hospitals began organ harvesting while patients still showed signs of life. That's horrifying, and it ends now. Under my leadership, HHS Gov is overhauling the organ transplant system. We've exposed gross negligence, launched sweeping reforms, and will decertify any organization that violates the sanctity of human life. Good. I actually hope to see some of these organizations, delegitimized, decertified.
I mean, are you surprised by any of this at all, Tyler?
No. I've heard that this has been a conspiracy as long as I've been alive. As long as I've been on the internet, this is something that I've heard whispers of. This is like an open secret.
I mean, Squid Games came out 4 years ago, and it highlighted this exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
They're trying to normalize it.
Yeah, the fresher the organ, the better it is. And, it is a scientific fact. The quicker that you get it out of the body, the more likely the organ is to succeed in transplant. But that doesn't mean to harvest people alive.
I'm disappointed in you, Tyler. You didn't read that in his voice.
I didn't.
Only I can do that.
Am I supposed to?
Tyler's welcome to try, though.
Well, I don't have to.
Tyler.
Look, we have this video right here. He can speak for himself.
Organs harvested from patients that are still moving. I heard that from a congressional hearing last week. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I mean, it's a horror story. And,
Can't turn it up.
Part of it is because of the capture of the agency that was regulating ORR. The board that was actually regulating organ harvesting was overlapping with the contractor that was actually harvesting the organs. And it was done state by state. Some of the states were just truly, it was a nightmare. And it was sickening to read these stories. They had one instance where a family was waiting at the hospital for the body of their deceased relative. The relative was brought to one of these private organ harvesting centers, awoke while they were harvesting her organs, and then was brought back to the hospital where she died eventually. But the family, brought litigation, and that's the only reason that we learned of this story. We've done a complete investigation of that company. We've taken the contract away from that company, and we're reorganizing it so that we will be regulating it and running it directly at HHS, and this will never happen again.
Yeah, so he says that this will never happen again, but holy crap. I mean, that story is pretty bad. But Chris, you said you hadn't looked into this too much because you knew I was going to bring it up to you. There was a story that from The Independent. If you go read the article, I highly recommend everyone goes and read the article from The Independent. It's on my X account. That's probably the best article I've seen on this. But they even retell a story of an individual who had his family told that he was brain dead, and then on the surgical table, much like the story that RFK just retold, he awoke. And then they tried to continue the operation. They didn't try to administer aid to him. They tried to continue the operation, and he had to pull his legs to his chest and shake his head no before they actually stopped.
So what you're saying is we found the cure for brain death.
Death.
Yeah, just actually
Death.
kill them.
Try taking their body parts. They're gonna wake up and say, "Hey, this ain't cool, man. Stop."
I mean, like you said, or like we were talking about at the start of this is an open secret, sure, but the fact that we have the government openly saying, yeah, this was happening, this has been happening for a long time, we're going to make sure that it doesn't happen again in the future, but yeah, sorry.
Well, have you ever been out and about, Tyler, or anybody, and you're at the point of sale trying to buy an item, they pop up, hey, would you like to round up your change or give X amount of dollars to this charity or that charity?
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys give to those?
Generally not.
Maybe 2% of the time. It depends on how much they pull at my heartstrings.
Well, you know why you should stop?
I do stop, but sometimes, like if it's pet related, that's how they get me.
Well, you should stop
Son of a bitches.
because they do that over the course of hundreds of thousands of transactions. They rake in millions of dollars a year doing that, and you're giving them a tax write-off.
Yep.
Yeah, if I'm gonna give something,
Make it illegal
like,
to do that with pets.
if I'm gonna do charity, I'm just gonna give to like the homeless guy that I like see passing the gas station every day. You know, like there used to be homeless guys that would hang out. Like there was a gas station right in front of my neighborhood, and I would go get food, and like on my way back, I would always get like too much food, and then I would give him like a cheeseburger or two, just because like I knew he was there.
This way, I realize it's completely unrelated, but it's totally not. It's the open secret, right? Everybody knows that the corporation gets this big tax write-off for writing this massive check at the end of the year, but nobody ever thinks about what goes into that. Same thing here. Everybody knows that this was happening. Apparently, everybody. We got a psycho cat going. Oh dear.
Okay, Joey.
I'm basically getting tired of these stories popping up. Well, everybody knew this was happening. It just took this one thing for it to be put into the limelight for everyone to see. Why is it taking this one story after years of it happening?
Yeah, no, this is decades of families coming forward saying, hey, my family member had this happen to them, or hey, I think my family member wasn't, like could have survived. What I've said repeatedly is I don't know how this isn't like bigger news, considering this affects everybody. This affects someone like me, you, Nora, everybody. You end up in a car accident, and then you end up at the hospital, and now the doctor's trying to like decide to give you certain medication. Yeah, decide to harvest you. They can decide to neglect certain care because it might damage some of your organs that they could harvest later. You're like, oh, I can give them this medication, they'll have better outcomes, but it'll hurt these organs, and I want to be able to harvest them. Like literally, they can give you less care because they want to focus on saving your organs.
They can have my lungs.
There you go.
Wow, you don't even give to the Quiet Part Pod killing it? No, I'm kidding. Or is that not a charity?
Are the only charities I give to? I'm not a charity case just yet.
I get it. It's a whole different beast. That's what the Quiet Part Pod is.
A whole different beast.
Well, I'm not a charity.
Well, I it may be too premature, but I just want to say I may join the Joey Cannoli network here soon.
Wow.
Joey's the biggest charity we all know.
Well, just so you guys know, every time that Jessica and I stream, all of you guys are tagged in the description.
Oh wow, how nice of her.
I still need to. I need to figure out
because she calls it the network.
That's a level of work. That's a level of work that is way beyond my pay grade.
Hey, I released the list. I released the list.
Honestly, not the list that we want released.
Honestly, Joey, though, I mean, it is kind of a network. I got you started doing this. I got Tyler started in on the creator program, and we all kind of built this thing around that.
Yeah.
So I did build a network. Damn it.
We should get. I guess we just got to work for the two Jewish ladies then.
We do. I agree.
So I guess we really knows who pays Chris's checks.
Hey, I'm down to get some of that Israeli money. I'm just saying.
We getting APAC money.
I wonder if the Israelis were getting any of the money from these organs.
There's a difference between good money and bad money. You don't want dirty money. It's evil.
I don't want organ harvesting money.
Yeah, none of that.
I don't think anyone does.
Well, besides the people who do.
Yes. Like I said, they can have my lungs. I was a smoker for 30 years.
So RFK, he had that interview with Newsmax. They had this article on Friday as well. I mean, this is crazy. The announcement. So the Department of Health and Human Services recently announced that it plans to reform the nation's organ transplant system. The announcement comes after an investigation by the Health Resources and Services Administration uncovered questionable practices at a federally funded organ procurement organization. The Kentucky Organ Donor Affiliates recently merged with a rebranded Network for Hope. It is one of 55 federally funded organ procurement organizations. At the time disputed practices took place, they operated in Kentucky, Southwest Ohio, and parts of West Virginia. Under Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Yeah?
They called it, what, questionable practices?
Yeah, yes. Questionable practices, yes.
How are they not calling it? How are they not calling it illegal practice.
You're calling it murder.
That's what I
Murder.
mean. It's illegal.
Yeah.
What is up with medical industry and not calling a fucking spade a spade? Abortion, fucking organ harvesting.
And then they wonder why we get situations like
Controversial
Luigi.
Liability. It's because of liability reasons. If they immediately say that it's not questionable and they say that, you know, the actual true facts of it, then people
Then they can pay. We
Exactly.
can sue them.
So they're going to try to skirt it as much as they can.
Yep, that's what we call. You talk
Wow.
about dirty money, but this is apparently legal
Oh,
money.
dude,
This
read-
is a
read your
legality bullshit.
Yeah,
Legal
I was gonna say
money is-
Guido just said something crazy in the chat. He said my 15-year-old just got her restricted license, and they added the heart for organ donation, and I had to argue with the DMV to remove it. And I'm
Sure.
assuming
Oh.
you didn't pick. I'm assuming you didn't check it, like, or it was accidentally checked. And
It might have been
Guido,
automatically put on.
Guido, once you remove it with the DMV, make sure you get the number from them and you call the number that they have, because you get added to a national registry too. So there's 2 lists. You actually get added to 2 lists.
Unbelievable. Huh?
But anyway, so it says here, let's see, where was it? So it looks like the HHS and RFK, they began reviewing the system after reports raised concerns about the unethical treatment of vulnerable patients. Really? You know, people that are unconscious are vulnerable? Wow.
Unethical?
Unethical treatment of unconscious and vulnerable patients.
Again,
Oh my God.
illegal. Illegal.
Yeah, literally.
They can't say it about the immigrants that are here undocumented. They can't say it about medical. Illegal.
Yeah, and you know, and Democrats want to complain about getting reparations for slavery and shit. What about the reparations for the families that have family members literally killed for their organs? There's no reparation that'll ever be enough for that. You literally murdered people's families.
Yeah. Well, if we start getting into that, then we have to worry about like what they did for the DNA samples of the actual helix, Tuskegee. The list will go on and on and on.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, look at this one. See, it says, looks like, so this is the first case that they investigated with this specific organization in Kentucky. And it said that the hospital failed to reassess the decision to pursue organ recovery, even though staff had documented improving neurological function, meaning he wasn't dead. He wasn't brain dead. He wasn't dead. He was improving. And they still tried to go forward.
They found the cure for brain death, and there's no money in that. So they just had to, pretend that the cure doesn't exist.
I mean, that is just so disheartening and disgusting and sad.
Yeah,
you got a license for that brain usage?
I've talked about it extensively, and it's absolutely horrific the more and more you think about it. There's so many different avenues that it can go down. And I'm gonna keep bringing it up because I'm gonna keep bringing it up until we see like actual accountability on that. Because that's absolutely horrific. That's one of the most horrific stories I've read in my life.
It's unconscionable. It's not unethical. It's unconscionable. You cannot do this to people.
No, that's what were we saying when we first brought this up, Joey? This is like Geneva level. Like people need to be held in front of human rights tribunals.
The Germans. Everyone's just on the Japanese and the Germans for the type of scientific studies they did during World War II, and I'm like, bro, this is just as bad.
No, yeah, human rights tribunals for the people involved in this. That's where I'm at. Like how do you sit there and be like, this guy's improving, take his organs?
Do we now have to go back? Do we now have to go back through every case where an organ transplant or organ donation has happened to verify that there was nothing in the log showing, hey, we chose to act outside of our medical ethical bounds and do this anyway?
Man, Chris, I have had so many people just in the chat alone. I've had so many people in the chat alone have they're now questioning deaths of like family members and parents because of this stuff.
Where do you even begin with that kind of investigation? We've been harvesting organs for decades.
Yep.
For a good purpose. Don't get me wrong. For a good purpose. But now now I have to call into question every single one of those instances
Well,
and go,
there's so many different ways that this could affect you, because like let's say you end up, or you have a family member that ends up on an organ donor list, and then you get that organ. Now you have to question whether or not that organ came from someone who was actually ready to die, or it was their time.
yeah, you received it. Now you find out about this, go, shit.
Yeah, you get
Right.
an organ. Now you have to live with the fact that it could have come from someone who it wasn't their time yet. Like
Yeah.
there's so many different horrific avenues with this, and I'm glad that RFK is not letting it go away. This is now 2 weeks and he's still talking about it. I'm sincerely glad that he at least isn't letting this go away, even though it seems like not a lot of other people want to talk about it. I know it's a horrific story, but this is so important, I feel.
I'm actually curious at what point it actually started ramping up.
The investigation or the harvesting?
The harvesting. Because I can't imagine it started out where people were going, you know what, we could make some serious coin on the side here if we just do this. It had to,
Dude, you know, I can only
Yes
imagine.
and no. You okay, Chris? You've got to stop and think for a minute. I watch paranormal investigation shows. One of them, they went to a mortuary in Sacramento, California. The morticians were harvesting all the organs, all the bodies, and quote unquote cremating them and doing a whole bunch of weird, nasty shit with things. It happens all the time.
so unlike the joke that I showed earlier, they chose not to let Grandpa live.
Yeah. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer, but the doctor killed her.
Fucking doctors.
It's just such a horrific story, man. I mean,
Do no harm.
do no harm. Yeah, do no harm. That's what it was supposed to be.
They're breaking their Hippocratic oath, and that's disgusting to me. But I know that organ harvesting has been going on, and wrongful organ harvesting has been going on since the beginning of medical history. They would do it as like torture at first. They would keep people alive and start taking out your organs piece by piece and see how long you would live.
Yep.
Yeah, they did it to Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And
Tyler would have no idea about that reference, though.
no, I don't. But what I wanted to add, Chris, is I can only
I do.
imagine if we started looking into like when, you know, the numbers for these events peaked. Man, it really brings into question some of the deaths around COVID too. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Mhm.
Was there a specific point in which people started realizing, hey, we can make a lot of money? If people, we blew out their lungs, we did this during this.
It might have made it easier for them to do it.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe they cranked up the ventilator just one notch too much on purpose.
It was making
Because-
people's lungs and organs fail.
Yeah, because they saw an opportunity to get a relatively healthy person and all these extra organs. I don't know at this point if that wasn't happening, and I'm not
Yeah.
trying to do conspiracy theory here.
I
No,
mean-
it's an actual good question. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of miscommunication around the treatment of COVID, and it was very obvious very early on that ventilators were not the answer, yet we continued to use them. So it's an absolutely fair question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm just glad that RFK is not letting this go away. I hope to see some actual repercussions from this. But this isn't...